Good morning, students. We're just going to quickly look at the 4th and 5th grade projects because you guys got a pretty good idea what you're doing. You should be able to move right along and finish it. So for the 4th graders, this is what your finished project's supposed to look like. All right. So you should be able to finish that up this week. Next week we'll look at how to put on the little hooks and pick those up. And parents, you're going to have to pick those up from school. You have to see Michelle. She has them in the bag behind her desk. And that'd be the same thing for the 5th graders. This is your project, and this is roughly how it's supposed to look when you're finished. And you'll be picking up hooks for that to be able to mount on the back. Now, 6th graders, we're actually going to get into actually doing some stuff with the wood today. The wood packets are at school. They're bundled up, and you'll get a bundle that'll look like this. All the wood that you're going to need right now for your project to start. There will be something else we'll get later on to help finish it up, but we don't need that right now. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take these 3 boards here. These are your tabletop. These are your 2 tabletops. We got to laminate this together. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip up the 2 end pieces on end, like so. I use these little glue brushes to help me out. But you've got a bottle of glue, and you're going to squirt the glue on the board all the way down this edge. And then we're going to do this other board, the same thing, all the way down the edge. Okay. Now, you take the little brush, if you have one, and you just brush it across here. And we'll do the other board right away. We'll get it brushed out. So you have a nice thick coat of glue on there. And then we're going to clamp them. Okay. Now you're going to lay the boards down. Match them up like this. Try to keep your ends pretty much even. And then you're going to take your clamps. First one on there. Now I'm going to use 6 clamps. Just because I like using 6. I always find the more clamps I use, the better it gets to be. I get a better holding and a better clamp job. All right. Now these clamps I bought, you can pick these up at Lowe's. You know, they're about $14 a piece. But they make doing this glue up so much nicer when you have the right tools. And you get a whole, well, better turnout. The project will look better. The boards go together better. I put them like that, and I don't have them tightened down yet because I'm going to do a couple other things. I want these boards to stay relatively flat on the ends and connected so they don't raise up. So I'm using these clamps on the end to keep the boards even. Because they will lift up on the corners in that. So now once I get those on, now I can start tightening these clamps up. And I'm just going to go down the line, and as you tighten them up, you'll see glue come squirting out from between the boards. That's good. That means you're getting a nice tight clamping. Clamp them down so you have good even pressure all the way down the board. This clamp here is not sitting right. I want it to be down on there so it's sitting square. There we go. Okay, now that I got it clamped and all the clamps seem to be nice and tight, we're good. That piece can sit off to the side. So we're just going to take this and I'll move it out of the way for now, because we're done with that piece. I'm going to clean up my glue here. Make sure you don't do this on Mom and Dad's good dining room table. If you do, you need to have some kind of cloth to put down there, an old rag to put on it so the glue doesn't get on the table, or tablecloth, because I don't want Mom and Dad getting mad at me. All right, now that that part's done, these other two pieces, one is for the legs and one is for the support suspension arms that go across the top. So what we're going to do is, you should have had your templates, and you should have been able to make 4 pieces of paper cut with your template for your legs, and also 4 for your cross rails. And this board is wide enough that you can get 4 of them on there. And the same thing with the supports for the top of the table. You can get 4 of them on there. And they go on there just like that. All right. Take your pencil, and you want to get yourself a nice heavy line. So hold it still. Take your pencil, and you're going to trace your template onto this wood. And it doesn't matter if you use one or all of them. They're all the same for these 4 for the legs. And I made this board a little longer than what you really need, so you have extra, don't worry about it. But we'll do all of this. So what you will end up with is a board that will look similar to this, hopefully. All right, there's those 4. You see the lines on there, hopefully. They're not quite as dark as I'd like them to be, but they'll be fine. And then you're going to do the same thing with the cross supports. You're just going to take and trace them right on this board. The same as you did the legs. And then you'll have your 4 table supports. All right. And there's our 4 table supports. I don't know how well you can see the marks. There we go. There's a better shot of him. All right. So that gives you those 4. So you have the 4 legs and the 4 table supports. And then the next thing we'll end up doing, and we'll get into that next week, but we'll be cutting them out after we get the tabletops all glued up, because we'll do some marking on the tabletops. We will have to mark our 2 halves of the tabletop, plus the 2 support beams that will go in between the legs on each side to help keep them from folding in. So until next week, get your projects glued up. You'll be able to pick up the wood. Like I said, it's ready. It's in the office now. It's on top of the filing cabinet. So just see Miss Michelle, and she'll be able to get it for you. And you can get them glued up, and then next week we'll go on to the rest of it. Until then, have a good week.